Be resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of September 12th be adopted as circulated. Need a mover? Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved the minutes for the regular meeting of August 8th, 2022 and the joint meeting of August 22nd, 2002 be adopted as circulated. Need a mover?
Bolton.
What? Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry about that. All in favor? As a reminder, we should take a moment here and think about David Blair, counselor who passed away. Just take a few seconds here of silence, please. Okay, I think most of you guys are at the celebration of life there. I left there wishing I had known the man for a little more than 4 years, to be honest. That was quite nice. He was a good fella. Okay, delegations, there are none. Be it resolved the financial statement for August 2022 be referred to council. Need a mover?
Grayson.
Seconder? All in favor? Any questions or concerns? Be it resolved that the accounts check number 29013 to check number 2994 totaling $376,529.59 and direct deposits withdrawals totaling $96,237.25 be approved for payment. I need a mover?
Malcolm.
Seconder? Questions or concerns? That one, yes. All in favor? Carried.
Hello.
Rachel?
Morning.
Okay.
Alright.
Welcome back.
Okay, be it resolved, council adjourned treasury meeting at 9:13 for the purpose of holding public hearings regarding applications for a conditional use order and a variation order. Need a mover?
Homestead.
Seconder?
Grayson.
All in favor? Was there any written or verbal comment on these before we get started?
Yeah, so we're actually only really going to discuss the conditional use order. So we've had to amend the variation order quite drastically due to some new information about where the existing property line is on that one. So that one's actually going to have to get pulled and reposted. It's in that area. It's actually the road that was just recently built for the cops. It's just that property line was recently discovered to be about 30 feet closer to where the original property line was thought to have been. So they, instead of being 77 feet, they're gonna actually be about 30 to 40 feet. So that one will have to readdress at a different date. But in regards to the conditional use order for Mans, I haven't received any comment, question, or inquiries on it. So
I have not either.
pretty straightforward. It's one of the conditions that we had for the subdivision, 4155-21-8357. It's to establish the rural non-farm dwelling site for this this yard site subdivision. So, the condition, so the rural non-farm dwelling site will be 5.5 acres. It's bare land right now. One of the conditions is that they enter into an agreement with the municipality to develop that roadway, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, has already been done. So at this point, it's just establishing.
It's in the midst of getting developed yet?
Yeah. Yeah, so at this point, it's just allowing the use, the rural non-farm dwelling site use.
So we're not gonna talk about Robertson, so we can.
No, we'll leave
go back
that
to
one
the
again.
meeting?
Yeah, there's too many changes, and because of the way it was posted, it's gonna have to get reposted. So.
Be resolved that the public hearing regarding conditional use plan and variation order be adjourned at 9:20. And the regular meeting of council will resume. Need a mover?
Murray.
Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Okay, be it resolved, the council will approve conditional use order number CU 1022 NCL for David and Becky Matz, applicant on behalf of the registered owner Michelle and Gloria Mott of property legally described as PT Southeast 221014 in the municipality of North Cypress-Langford, located southeast of Carberry at the intersection of Carberry Trail and Road 80 West to establish a rural non-farm dwelling site in an AG agriculture district, subject to the following condition. Approval of this order is conditional on subdivision application 4155-21-8357. Need a mover?
Grayson.
Seconder? Questions or concerns? All in favor? Carried.
Okay.
This Hoffman one we've talked about before too.
I sent it out to you guys in an email. I will put it up on the.
Somebody want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, well, Rachel will, yeah.
You betcha. Yeah, so this is a subdivision application for two 10-acre lots within the 10. Victor and Maria own a larger parcel in that area, and they're looking to create two smaller rural residential 10 acre parcels. Pretty standard for the area. The way they've cut it, I'm not sure if I've got a map up yet, but the way they're cutting it is pretty typical of what we see out in that area. They're looking at creating some additional lots for future sale.
Any internal roads?
No internal roads, but they have left a portion with the possibility of further development.
Is it a dead end for the fire department? Or is it serviced already?
So this is actually a corner lot. Their yard site is where that little white blip is down in the one corner. And then you can see that there is an existing 10-acre parcel right on the corner of those two roadways, and they're looking at creating two more, and then there's that little space. So they have left room if there is the potential for further development. I can't see it happening anytime soon, just after speaking with the applicant on this one, but they have left it just in case there is some concerns.
So there's a road running to the east there, that's...
Yeah, so we've got municipal roads on both sides.
Is that good, or what it is?
That's good. Yeah, and then we've got...
It's already maintained, it's gonna go to the east of 1 and 2?
Yeah, so we've got that, there's 1 and 2 that are being created, so we've got a municipal road that comes up and over. I can't remember what that road name is. That's Bev and Darren Walker's property that we recently subdivided, which comes out just on number 1 highway there. So that both sides are serviced by municipal roads. So yeah, so they are aware that if there's any potential growth at the back end of the lot, that they will have to create an internal roadway, and that we'll need 2 access points. So pretty straightforward, nothing too spectacular. From my understanding, one of them is for sure going to stay with a family member, and that there is the potential for the other sale, though I can't see it being sold to someone other than a family member at this point. Their son currently has the 1 corner, so.
Any more questions on that one for...
I don't think you had any feedback from any of the other departments either.
No, everything is pretty straightforward. Again, this is an existing rural parcel that is kind of within our R10 zone. So this is just phasing out of some previously existing land that is now being used for what we had zoned it for. They are maintaining some animal units out that way on the residual parcel. They will have 59.98 acres residual, so they will be able to maintain some animal units, not that they wouldn't be in a concern of too many animal units for what I have, so.
Okay, be resolved, whereas council has received an application from Victor and Maria Hoffman, registered owners, file number 4155-22-8441 for subdivision of the property legally described At Southeast 41115, approval subject to the following condition, and further access to the remaining parcel be at the cost of the applicant. All legal costs incurred for the municipality, responsibility of the applicant. Mover?
Yep.
Second, please.
Yep.
Sorry.
All in favor? Carried.
Okay,
I
the
think we've talked extensively about this, that's one, but if you, he's just proceeding with what we've talked about.
You
right?
betcha, yeah, so, yeah, so this is the 9 lots for the rural residential. Yeah, so we discussed the concept plan, it's been to the board now for discussion, for comment. And at this point in time, we're just, again, seeking council approval on this subdivision, so, this is just, it is exactly what was presented in the concept plan. So.
And we have no road costs or anything here? Spence has normally done his own roads anyways.
Yeah, so at this point in time, Muirhead Road is existing, so we're looking at developing these, we got 5 lots.
There's Diane Road.
Yeah, Diane Road will have to be extended at some point in time, but we do have the ability to develop that lot 7 with the current Diane extension. He wouldn't be looking at furthering the Diane Road to the south until he develops this larger portion down at the bottom. So right now, there is no need for road construction, but there will be as long as these lots sell. So he actually has no available lots in the original subdivision, so these lots I can't see taking too long to sell. So I definitely see that this larger chunk will be probably a next year subdivision project.
And the road construction, in his development, it's always been, we did the extension from, like, we did the municipal road to the east of
Right.
the last one, but
Yeah.
he did all the other internal stuff himself, and that's the understanding going ahead too?
As far as I know, yes, but again, with this specific subdivision, there is no need for road creation. So,
Yeah, but it's
yeah, he's usually pretty good about,
coming, so we
Oh,
might as well just
definitely,
get it
yeah.
clear in everybody's head here.
That's
yeah, no, he's pretty consistent with all the subdivision applications. He's willing to make it consistent across the board. So what he did with the first one, he'll carry through with the second one. There are some pretty substantial conditions associated to this one from other provincial agencies. We're seeing a lot more of the HRIAs, which are the Historic Resource Impact Assessments done from the Historic Research Branch, especially in any areas that are adjacent to Camp Hughes or in the Camp Hughes area or any known areas for Aboriginal settlement communities. So that will be something pretty standard we're gonna see a lot of with larger residential subdivisions, or even small ones. We've seen it on a 2-lot subdivision, so. It's, other than that, very straightforward, very similar conditions to the previous subdivision application we put through, so.
So just for variety in your hearing, I'm gonna let you read this for the
Sure, I can read it. Resolution number 189/2022, whereas council has received an application from Jamie Spence, applicant on behalf of registered owner 6998986 Manitoba Limited, file number 415522-8443 for subdivision of the property legally described as West 41115. Approval subject to the following conditions: that lots 1 through 8 obtain a zoning bylaw amendment to change the current zoning classification from RR10 Rural Residential District to RR5 Rural Residential District. Number 2, that lot 7 obtain a variation order allowing for the reduction of the minimum site area of 5 acres down to 4.13 acres in the RR5 Rural Residential District. That a variation order be obtained allowing the reduction of the minimum parcel width of 300 feet down to 145 feet for lot 9 within the RR10 Rural Residential District. That future access to the remaining parcel be the cost of the applicant, and all legal costs incurred be the responsibility of the applicant.
Need a mover? Seconder?
Murray.
Any more questions or concerns? All in favor? Carried. You wanna do Darcy and Heather Roll's off for us then?
I think this is the most subdivisions we've talked about in one go, so
I
keep
know.
everything straight.
There we go, this.
Okay, so, the subdivision for Darcy Borsman is 4155-22-8446. It is just south of the Byram subdivision along Highway 5. So we are looking at creating a 10-acre parcel, very typical rural non-farm building site within the, so he's actually AGL2, so ag limited livestock area. Not that that will negatively impact him or what he's currently doing with residual land. He owns a hay operation on that space. So he's just looking at cutting out the yard site with the existing home for third-party sale. And then he actually has 2 lanes, 2 hydro services, 2 water services onto this one property. So he'll be maintaining the equipment shed on the adjacent property for his hay business. So again, it's a very typical rural non-farm building site subdivision, and that he'll maintain the residual land. So he's got 77 acres, 77.06 acres. He's going to cut out the 10 acres for the sale and maintain the 67.06 acres for himself.
So the little yellow L there, that's not what he's cutting out, is it?
No.
That's his house. That's his residence. Yeah. Yeah. No, he is cutting out a full 10 acres. Again, we try to keep him as consistent with the 10 acres as possible. He does.
There you go.
Yeah. So again, just south of the Byram subdivision. He has his on-site wastewater management system is an ejector, so he has been granted clearance to relocate the ejector head as one of his conditions. He's already received all the paperwork, so the only 2 conditions that remain on this subdivision are to establish the conditional use order for the rural non-farm building site and a variation order, because the residual land will be less than 80 acres. To be fair, he started with less than 80 acres, so again, once we cut it again, because we're altering titles, we have to apply for a new variation order to allow for that reduction, so.
That makes sense.
Did any of the other residents that talked to me contact you at all with any of their concerns?
No. No,
I hadn't heard back anything since, so I just wanted to make sure that,
For sure.
I passed it on to the one gentleman. who
Definitely,
contacted
yeah.
me, so.
Yeah, and I did look into it, so we did have some questions, especially in this area, or that area, we have, the way the subdivision process has changed and the way the allowance for yard sites to be cut out has been changed. In the past, subdivisions like this, especially adjacent to rural residentials, have been a little bit trickier. Trying to prevent a series of rural residential, or a series of rural non-farm dwelling sites adjacent to rural residential, just because that can sometimes create headaches with the rural residentials being allowed to do one thing, but the yard sites not being allowed to do the same thing, or vice versa. But going forward, as long as it's a single lot subdivision of a yard site, seems to be something that the province is willing to entertain. Mr. Boersma had originally applied to cut out 2 10-acre yard sites, one for the home piece, or the 10-acre yard site, and the adjacent where his shop is, he also looked at cutting that out as a 10-acre parcel. So the 2 had created an issue with municipal planning in Brandon. So 1 yard site seems to be something they're willing to do. 2 yard sites at the same time requires some development plan changes. So.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah, it's one of those things that, especially if we have had attempts in the past to subdivide, we want to make sure that we're doing our best to kind of address all the issues. So.
Whereas council has received an application from Darcy and Heather Boersma, registered owner, file number 4155228446 for subdivision of the property legally described as Northwest 221013. Approval subject to the following conditions: that a conditional use order be obtained allowing for the establishment of a rural non-farm dwelling site within an AGL2 agricultural livestock operational limited 2 zone. The variation order be obtained allowing for the reduction of minimum parcel size of 80 acres down to 70 acres within the AGL agricultural livestock operation limited zone. The future access to the remaining parcel will be the cost of the applicant. All legal costs incurred be the responsibility of the applicant. Any mover?
Grayson,
Seconder?
Mine.
Any other
Can
questions?
I just make a
what
comment?
is that,
I
northwest?
just
Yeah.
ignore that.
The
I
extra
had a
10.
little happy on my typing, so yeah, 221315 is what it should be. My apologies. It happened.
West, yep.
You guys are quick this morning.
Yeah.
I read that twice
I know.
already.
questions, concerns, Ray?
No, that's all I have questions.
All in favor? Carried.
Didn't have the coffee yet.
Okay, talk to us about the Cypress-Steins and the Browns.
Perfect, so this application is actually being handled from lawyer perspective. So Alex Stein is actually the lawyer on this case, for this subdivision. So this is 4155-22-8449. Again, a very straightforward rural non-farm building site subdivision. So this one is a little tricky because they're listing out all the acres that are adjacent to this property. So they're actually listing out 305.54 acres because that's the conglomeration of all the land together. And they're cutting out a 2.97 rural non-farm building site. It's a very small yard site, just over or just shy of the 3 acre mark. 2 acres is a minimum requirement, especially with a septic field. But this is an existing yard site. Okay. Yeah, existing yard site, sorry. I'm not as familiar with this one as I would like to be. So this is located just south of PTH 1 along Brown Road. Access is being taken from the Municipal Road 85 west. The yard site, they're just, again, looking to subdivide that yard site off of the existing agricultural land. Yeah, so we are requiring a conditional use order to establish the rural non-farm building site as well as a variation order because we are less than 5 acres.
So where, Trans-Canada, where, what's
Yeah,
this?
there's Highway 1, and then this is, they call it Brown Road, but
That's just, you can see that from the highway. You know, the barn there, it's
oh,
Yeah,
Just
not that
west
this
of
is,
town.
not that this is very
Yeah.
helpful, but, so we've
Yeah.
got Highway 1 here and then Brown Road, which is right here.
You had a picture up before there of where it was
Is that-
with the municipality.
Yeah, so-
oh, whoops, sorry about that.
I thought that was barren land.
In there somewhere.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
Right there.
Where?
So,
The red dot here, so,
so here's Highway 1, just,
Yeah.
Yeah, you like, you see that from the highway.
yeah.
Yeah,
where the barn is all collapsed there,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, no, barren.
It's in the northeast quarter.
Yeah.
So the one brown one's north of the highway there, and that's south of the highway.
Okay. Council has received an application from Alex Cypress-Stein, lawyer, applicant on behalf of the registered owner. Donelda Brown, file number 1455-22-8449 for subdivision of property legally described as 02-11-15 northeast, excuse me. Approval subject to the following conditions: that a conditional use order will be required for a non-farm single-family resident dwelling, that a variation order is required to reduce the 5 acre minimum parcel size down to 2.97 acres being proposed, that the future access to the remaining parcel be the cost of the applicant. All legal costs incurred be the responsibility of the applicant. Need a mover? Seconder?
Jason?
Any other questions or concerns? All in favor? Carried.
Quick and easy.
So, do you have anything? I got one thing I want to talk to you
I
about.
just wanted to give everyone an update. So we are currently waiting for the zoning maps to be finalized from Community Regional Planning. We can't proceed to first reading until we have those maps. So the bylaw is complete, ready to go. It's just basically waiting on that map to come through. So as soon as we receive the maps from the province, we will proceed into first reading on that zoning bylaw. I've stressed to them multiple times now that we need them as quickly as possible. They've had them, I sent them to them before I left on my 2-week vacation. So I'm surprised, especially because there wasn't any major changes. There were some name changes and there was a couple of other things that we kind of moved around, but nothing major, so I'm surprised we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, you still told us that, I guess at our last meeting, you said that you were still.
Yeah, it's frustrating. frustrating beyond all
Yeah.
measures at this point because they're the ones that pestering about the timelines and they're the ones that are sitting on it, so.
Yeah.
Other than that, there really isn't a whole lot going on. We've had, I keep questioning where the province is, and by province I mean Crown Lands, is with the ATV Association comments. As far as I know, they haven't filled the position, but I haven't been in touch with this area district manager. I haven't had a chance to sit down and chat with him. It is on the list of things to do, but I'm trying to catch up on a couple of building permits that I received while I was away. So, with that being said, I start my last Part 3 course in the next couple weeks. Once that's completed, as long as everything goes according to plan, we'll be looking for North Cypress to apply for their Part 3 designation December, January. So as long as everything proceeds, I've already lined up a mentor. So we can continue into large farm buildings and Part 3 designation, so
Good.
we should be good. So.
On that issue that you mentioned about the Crown getting back to you, I don't know, and once again, thanks for the initiative of having the public meeting at that, but I mean, there's people still wanting some type of reply like that. You have the contact list and all that stuff. If I don't know whether you have emails or anything, can we at least say that the ball isn't dropped and we're still waiting for that stuff for these people, or otherwise?
Would you guys like that I send out just a notice with or not a notice, but more of an update for everyone that was on that contact list?
Update.
Sure. I have had a couple requests from people who were in attendance to receive the full contact list, and I can't really provide third-party information on like that, but what I can do is I will send out a notice to anyone who was in attendance. I also put in that if there was someone in attendance who didn't sign, it will be a generic kind of update of information so that they can also pass it along to anyone who wasn't there. Just kind of explaining, I'll try to get a hold of Crown Lands again today, just to see if we've got any movement.
The impression is that the ball is just gonna get dropped and they wanna say, okay, what do we do next time?
For sure.
The municipality's been very clear that we're trying to, we support their side for sure, and we just want a resolution to it, but I think there's getting to be some frustration that the ball's dropped, so where do they kick it again?
For sure, definitely, yeah, well, and that's the thing, especially waiting on the province, as long as we can, at least keep momentum going on our end, and just say that, we are aware that nothing has come through, and that, we're at least trying, definitely.
This is for that's typical, the problem will go away if we don't answer it, but
For sure, yeah.
these people deserve at least an answer. I mean, they're gonna live with the answer what they get.
Definitely. Would we prefer it in writing, or I don't know if I know I have, or at least I can track down mailing addresses. Not everyone provided an email address, so if it's all right with council, I'll probably send it out in the mail, just because, again, I know I can track down all those contacts.
Yeah, that work good.
Get rid of hold of most people you can.
It's probably a good time to put in there that the initiative, you helped with the initiative for the public hearing. It's not your responsibility, planning or RM council again. And I mean, they appreciate that, but the longer the wheels grind, then they're gonna blame somebody. I did, just while we're talking about Oka Derby went off without a hitch, I hear. It was good, no complaints.
Oh, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it was.
Did there end up being an RCMP delegate there?
He said he was going to just go
He
and
was gonna try.
That was Blue Hills.
Yeah.
So that was a big test case to see if it really was gonna bother people as much as they thought. I don't know how many people they got, but.
They had over 40 participants.
I haven't,
It's not that big.
no, it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't. They've taken all their advertising down on Facebook and that too. I was talking to them after the meeting and they took stuff down, so, and good for them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Sounds
you.
good. Anything else for planning, or? One of the things we want to do, or that we're trying to, prior to the changeover and then again after the elections, is provide council with an update of where permits stand. So right now, Cypress Planning District has actually surpassed our anticipated permit budget for the year, and it's predominantly because of the growth in North Cypress-Langford. So we have quite a large number of rural, or single-family dwellings that have been constructed in the municipality alone. Along with the RTM builder, we are still quite busy for, middle of September, and we don't anticipate slowing down at any point in time. So we have at least another 6 RTMs coming before heavy snowfall. So there is quite a bit of growth and permit growth within the municipality, so, which is always good to see.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Good.
Okay,
Thursday night again?
Thursday, you betcha.
That's here in Carver.
Yes.
Thanks.
all right, we'll see you, Harold.
Carol?
Give our condolences to
You
your
did?
wife and family there.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks,
Harold. See you later.
Okay, bylaw 5022, special service control. You can take that one away.
Yeah,
Do you want this before you go?
I'll just send it to her later.
Yeah, no worries there.
We've got a groove going.
Take care.
Oh, wait till Ray's back. Sorry.
Open or close?
Close it if you, oh, you want to open? Oh.
Right.
Yes,
It's okay, whatever.
You pick.
thank
You know
you.
what, we're gonna take a 5-minute recess because our quorum just left.
Progress.
My job.
Bylaw 5022, special service desk control. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so, I discussed this last meeting, but Teresa's drafted a special service for dust control for the next year, because obviously our one expires. So we took out the special service area for, I think it was 89.
Yeah.
And we have Brookdale and Lake Irwin on those 2 special service areas. So, I did circulate the bylaw, there are a couple changes, not much. I think the special service was, and I can actually, maybe I'll bring it up here just so you can see it. But anyway, what's gonna happen is, we'll have to have a public hearing, we'll have to go through all the whole process again. We'll have a public hearing probably in October, I would think, which kind of is a pain with elections, but
With the ones that are going to be keeping.
yes, so again, we'll have a public hearing, and you know how this all works, is we have the public hearing, they provide their input whether they want it or not. We have, we'll have to do first reading for that bylaw, and obviously take into consideration the objections and everything, send it in the municipal relations, they do a review, send it back, we do second and third, and it's kind of a process, so we'd rather get this done now, so that we're ready for budget.
Was there a fairly reasonable consensus on 85 that they didn't want it, or is it just a few people that?
Well, everybody north of Stony Creek, nobody up there wanted it. And then there's only about 3 south of it wanting it. And the rest are on the east side of the road and they don't want it. And they're the ones that benefit because that's the maddening part.
Yeah,
So those 3 people who still wanted have the option of getting it.
Oh, yeah, have the option to customer.
Yeah, like whoever doesn't have this levy does still have the option for the custom work, it's not
But
like
it
we're.
makes it a hard thing for putting calcium down. When you do 300 yards, you miss 50 feet.
Yeah.
You do 300 yards, you miss 50 feet because of stuff like
That's
that.
when common sense kicks in, just make sure you bill enough for the whole stretch.
Well, they probably will, but it's their dollar that's gotta finance it, so.
Okay, so that
So
was,
anyway, yeah, like I did send the bylaw out to you guys to see, so the special service areas will be Community of Brookdale and then Centennial Drive, which is Lake Irwin.
Yep.
Costs are breaking down, this would be 2 passes, obviously the same as what we do with our custom. Here's the cost for special service area number 1, which is, I think that's Centennial Drive. And then this is for Brookdale, and then obviously the increments for the next 3 years. It's estimated again, it won't be, but this would be individual levies on their properties. Okay, just so you're all aware. Okay, so if council is okay with it, I will schedule a hearing for that and we'll get that going. Hey,
Unfinished business. Joint council hiring Norm McDonald for nuisance ground operator position. The wage set out in the employment agreement starting August 6, 2002, need mover.
Yep.
Second.
Yep.
All in favor? Carried. Be resolved joint committee hire Nicole McMillan for the joint utility position at a wage set out in the employment agreement starting August 24th, 2022. Mover.
Malcolm.
Seconder.
Homestead.
All in favor? Carried. Be resolved council agreed to not pay for joint reporting services as of September 12th, 2002. Therefore, be resolved council suspend reporting service from this point forward for all joint committee meetings. Mover?
Grayson?
Seconder?
Murray.
All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved the council support the submission of the proposal under the Manitoba Government Mitigation and Preparedness Program for the NCL 2022 flood protection and authorize the CO to submit the proposal. Mover?
Homestead.
Seconder?
Grayson?
I can explain this. So with our DFA claim for 2022, we only get a portion of that back. We won't get 100%, so that we're only allotted so much for our population base. So same thing as what I did with the last flood. I just applied for this program to get the rest of the money. So what they want me to do is set up a reserve or put the money away for a project
Right.
to complete. It doesn't have to necessarily be related to the flood, but I have tagged it as that because obviously there's been damage up
Yeah.
that way. So just, there's another program opened up. It's the same thing, same as last time, so.
Good.
All in favor? Carried. Brookdale Lagoon sewer charge.
So we had a meeting there with the residents. We were all there. I think some of you were not. We discussed, what the proposed charge would be. They actually were pretty acceptable of it. So I guess my question to council is, are you guys okay with the charges and what's being proposed, or is this something that you want me to,
Nope, I think we're
Well,
gonna
okay.
spend the money for the city.
So just so you're all aware, and I have made you guys all aware that Dale Lyle from Way to Go did this rate study. He's very experienced, a very knowledgeable person. He did indicate that when the sewer system was done, the auditors did not tag this as a TCA and did not.
You gotta tell us what TCA is.
So, sorry, a tangible capital asset. It didn't capitalize this, which it should have been capitalized because it's a very large thing. So when they did that, they didn't put that in the audit back then. So now what he has requested for our auditors to do is to put it as a TCA, so a tangible capital asset, and amortize the project at 50 years. Our auditors have questioned this, and they have agreed to possibly put it in there, but if they do not put that in there, these fees for these residents will go up. So,
I thought about that. If the background was that it was actually the community of Brookdale that
Yeah.
initiated, the RM did apply for some of the grants, but technically, they are the owner of it. It's on our land and all that stuff, but
yeah.
straightening it out makes better sense for them too, so
Yeah.
let's do it.
So, I mean, so just the caution for council, like once I put this, Dale Lyle did caution me to let you guys know that once you do put this forward to PUB, there's no going back. So PUB will question all these things and will ask all these specific questions, and no, these are estimated rates again, and I did tell them that as well, so.
Does Dale have a projection that if it doesn't, if they do change it, how much potentially?
It'll go up quite a bit. Yeah. So what will happen is we do the application, we do a public hearing again with them, pending on what PUB says. And obviously, if they're good with what Dale suggests and they have no issues with it, then we go ahead and it's done. There might be some ripples in this just because of the whole amortization thing, but Dale did say like it should be we should be okay, but he wanted to make sure that we were all aware that this could be something that could,
There'll be questions raised, that
yeah,
shouldn't be an issue.
obviously the residents have to, they can object to it too, you know, like it's same with any kind of special service bylaw, but I do think it's a very good thing for them to do. It's obviously something that they should be putting money towards, or we should, and you know, going forward, so.
We didn't get any calls, or I didn't forward any opposition to that?
No, like everybody that was there,
Yeah,
it was
I've
pretty
talked to
good.
different ones,
I don't
and they're
know.
all quite supportive
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
we're doing.
there was a good feel in the room.
So I mean, I'll go ahead and get this done, and obviously we'll have to have a hearing again.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just wanted to see if
Okay,
council
on
was.
that subject too, we have to formalize the rural guys that are dumping in that
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, technically, the people of Brookdale are supporting this.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
even though it is our municipal lagoon, somebody should be contributing to the maintenance too. And I would suggest like a yearly thing.
Annual payment,
The
yeah.
annual
Yep.
fee for-
Monitor how many times you're dumping on there.
Yeah,
And like, if they can raise another $5,000 a year to go to their thing, that's
Right.
sooner or later, that's gonna wean them off of having to make
Yeah.
contributors.
I guess that is my next question, is like, the town, I'll give you an example, the town charges $300 annually to those who dump
Just single people dumping.
in their lagoon.
What do
So,
other towns and RMs, and I use
Well, I haven't-
mine as an example, Prairie Lakes as an example, the town of Maple Rock. Reach out to see what some other.
yeah, so
ones do
I
too.
will, I know that as per our license and as per, like, we're supposed to be keeping track of all this,
Yeah.
and I've talked to, Beaumont, and is it, no,
yeah, yeah.
Beaumont, and he's fine with this, he just needs to know,
Mhm.
because we haven't been charging for dumping in there, so. Anyway, I'll look into it, I'll have some more information for next meeting for that.
And if we can't, there's 2 or 3 of them doing it in the municipality, either we gotta contact them all or put a sign up there which commercial people are allowed to dump in it, cause if one tells us to pack sand, well, you know what, you pack sand.
Well, and the problem is they think that to get into the lagoon is a cat key, so
So
it's pretty,
generic.
so we should maybe be considering changing the lock on that.
Yeah.
And just
I
Yeah.
agree.
give a little, give a key to those.
I don't know if council's okay with that, but I kinda think that that's.
Well,
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
As long as, it doesn't cost us more than we'll ever collect.
And then one more thing on the lagoon part of it, and I'll bring it up next time, but we have nobody looking after the lagoon right now.
Right.
So we either do, like we had Grady do it there for $1,500, or we find somebody else to do it who has their
Test it.
wastewater
Okay. We
designation.
talked about that a couple times.
Yeah,
You want me to go to Spruce Woods? Cause those guys are licensed to the Yin Yangs.
Yeah, sure, it's handy too, right?
And just see if there's somebody there that would do it for us or something. Cause
And
they're
ask
not
how
gonna
much
quit
they
and
would-
move on, huh?
yeah, and ask how much they would,
We're under the $5,000 limit for tendering, so we should be fine, let ask them.
So if you could tell me, give me the regulations,
I
I'll
can
go
give you the
talk,
license, yeah,
I'll go talk to her.
okay.
I could drop it off with Joey and just see if one of their guys are interested in,
Yeah.
cause we're still gonna mow it ourselves, we're gonna still do
Yeah.
everything, we just need somebody to walk around
Yeah.
it 3 times a year to say, hey,
Yeah, sign off.
okay? Is that,
Yeah.
I love it.
unless somebody else, who does it for Neepawa, tell us, and
I don't know who does it, probably one of their staff has it.
Yeah,
the thing is, then you got Mileage Brookdale guys are right there and all that stuff.
Yeah,
No,
as
it's.
long as they have their certification, I mean,
doesn't matter who.
So that's what we'll try on.
We'll try that first.
Sure.
Plan A, yeah.
okay, yeah,
So we gotta get a letter out to Beaumont and,
yeah, I'll talk to
does
them.
anybody else, who, there's,
That's the only one around here that I know.
oh no, there's another local actually.
I should just change this lock and then we'll find out.
Well, exactly, change your lock and say,
Yeah.
please contact the
Yeah.
office if you request,
Well, doesn't that make sense?
And then so much for the key cleaner.
yeah.
I
If
don't know what
you
makes sense
request a
anymore.
contract and a key. Yeah,
It's a reasonable thing, make it a reasonable amount, like 1,000 or $500 a year or 1,000.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Just as long as
Yeah.
we can say that we're not using.
yeah. or
Something that-
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Be it resolved that council accept the tender for a new road built for Road 80 West from Spud Plains Farms Limited in the amount of $15,750. This is the man's one?
Yeah,
Further, be it resolved, the cost be shared as per the road building policy with David and Becky. Yeah, she's if I had it right that time, wouldn't I?
Yeah, keep reading.
Ask a question.
Mover,
Grayson.
seconder,
Murray.
I'm not gonna vote, all in favor? Carried. Be it resolved, the council accept the tender for a new road built for Road 81 West from Blue Star Construction in the amount of $89,197.50. Further be resolved that the cost be shared as per the road building policy with T&L Daily Limited. Need a mover?
Homestead.
Seconder?
Murray.
Just a comment on that, that sounds extremely hard for one residence. The first half mile is going to be 50-50 and the other line is gonna be 75-25. And the Baileys are
We
aware
are
of that,
aware,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, all in favor? Carried.
And also on these two road builds, just so you're aware, we are obtaining gas tax for those, our half, just so, okay.
We're using our empties on that. Okay, be it resolved, council accept the tender for project 49365 for Marlborough Road. Road 76 West between Road 59 and 58 from Blue Star Construction Limited in the amount of $70,612. And further be it resolved, the cost be funded by the gas tax reserve as per the 2022 financial. Mover,
Homestead.
seconder,
Grayson.
questions? All in favor? Carried.
It's almost done.
Yeah.
Be it resolved, the council accept the tender from project 49363 for road 89 west between 75 and 78 north from Pat Baker. Backhoe services in the amount of $74,903.50. And further be resolved, the cost be funded by the gas tax reserve as per the 2022 financial plan. Mover,
Grayson.
Got it.
all in favor? Carried. Just got a comment on those two projects. We, for the 4th and 5th year, we didn't do the one by the Carvey dump there. The last comment was, oh, I didn't think it was big. That is a big deal, that whole land. It's a very, very short distance, but that, for next year, make sure that
Well,
one
we've got our list
Yeah,
from,
It's there.
it is on the list, so it'll be
is
next
for
week.
this year.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, be it resolved, the council hire Wayne Vince as a seasonal public works operation for the municipality of North Cypress-Langford and set the wages according to the union agreement effective September 12th, 2022. Boy, here's a current one. Mover,
Homestead.
second,
Got it.
all in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the council hire Justin Pastor Shank as a public work operator for the municipality of North Cypress, Langford, and set the wages according to the union agreement effective August 10th, 2022. Need a mover?
Murray.
Seconder?
Grayson.
All in favor? Carried. And on that note, I think we're finally fully staffed.
Yes.
Yeah. Halfway through September.
That's, I don't care.
Again.
I'm a happy camper right now about that.
Looks good, yes.
Outstanding accounts, be it resolved, council add the following account to the tax rolls. 410200 for $114.17. And the roll number 204650 for $56.46. I think these are dumping costs.
These are, yeah, well, one is actually custom work and the other one is tipping, yeah. So, custom work we've done, lane plowing,
Mover,
add to taxes anyway.
Grayson.
seconder,
Murray.
all in favor?
Close.
Carried. Be it resolved that the assessment changes as per section 300 and 326 of the municipal act be added to the 2022 assessment roll, totaling added tax $37,150.38. Total deleted tax $16,392.90. Total net total $20,757.48. Mover,
Homestead.
seconder,
Move.
all in favor? If any counselor wants to know what was deleted and all that stuff, you can
Yeah, I
go to
have
the
it.
office and all that stuff. Be it resolved, the council approves CEO Trish Fraser and ACO Teresa Parker to attend the 2022 MMA district meeting on September 23rd at the Victoria Inn. This is the bookkeeping part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is actually.
Mover,
Grayson?
seconder,
Homestead.
all in favor? Carried. On that note,
Thank you, I can go network now.
we have to, and we should be putting in a policy, and there's no problem with both of you going. We talked earlier that if we could get a lady or a second person to come in when there's only one employee in the building.
Casual, yeah.
Like, and I don't know how you do it, I don't wanna do it formally, but there's ladies out there that, or gentlemen, just because if she has to go in the back and lock the doors or whatever, it's just something, you're the business, you run the office, so if you could look into that, I think
Yeah, I
we're gonna
have.
feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, I have, and we've been anyway, this is more, I guess it's not gonna be more personnel, but.
Okay, we can, if you wanna
Yeah.
put it there.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Okay, we're
Okay.
talking about. Okay, so,
And this one is kinda out of the last minute, yeah.
be it resolved, council accept the resignation of Kara Burney, manager of leisure services, as of September 30th, 2002. With your guts, mover, seconder,
Homestead.
all in favor?
We should all say no, but the rest of
I
them
know.
say yes.
Yeah,
Please reconsider.
I get you.
Mhm.
That's added to the agenda. Communications.
One thing, just to, sorry, but the
Oh, that
gravel,
hospital request for the,
it's on here. You just, I didn't do the resolution already yet, so you want to discuss it.
oh, okay.
Just when Matt brought the screened gravel quote up, do you guys wanna wait till October to approve that, or do you wanna approve just the screen cost now, or what?
I'd approve the screen
I-
cost now, just so you don't
yeah.
go up anymore.
Well, you're approving something for the 2003 budget anyway, so
Yeah.
whether, you could just show of hands that you're gonna go with it and go with it.
Yeah, I think that's the way.
Because the resolution, if it's gonna be a budget thing, then we should talk about it at budget and
However
include
it needs
it
to be done, I just don't want to
Yeah,
miss out on
no,
the price.
I wouldn't mind a resolution
in.
now,
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, and then,
That's fine.
because then I don't
so we're
have to,
committing the next council to something that we're doing, go ahead.
the amount of, what was it, I don't know,
37.
37.5? Make sure I get the right amount.
195, I think.
This is gonna last forever, it's an expense, and it's nice to have it around, right? I mean, it just doesn't pay to haul it all the way from
37.5, yeah, that was right. Okay.
Can you remember?
No, my fingers just don't wanna work.
Again.
Ooh. Maybe, yeah. Added to the 2023 financial plan. Is that okay?
Yep. You're gonna read it back.
Okay. Resolution 206-2022, be it resolved that council accept the quote from Blue Star Construction Limited for 10,000 yards of screen gravel in the amount of 37,500. And further be it resolved that the quote be added to the, I'll put the resolution be added to the 2023 financial plan.
Yeah. Matt said 2 inch, I think normally we're getting 1.5 inch, cause the 2 inches marbles.
Well, he knows what he's after.
Yep, okay, all right. Mover,
Grayson?
seconder,
I'll second that.
all in favor? Carried. Okay, we go to communications now?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying
I'm apologizing. You don't mean it.
No, I don't. Okay, did you read these? September correspondence, here we go. Okay, so the foundation is going to have that vital conversation again, they have it every year. So that's for Thursday, November 17th at the United Church Hall. Anyway, if you read that, that's gonna be
Thursday when?
Thursday, November 17th at the United Church Hall. There'll be a post closer to, I'm assuming, but Brianna will put that on the foundation. So again, just basically a survey for the community to see what their wants and needs would be, so that'll be good. And then we had a request from the Carberry North Cypress Health Action Committee in regards to supporting the bath and shower room that their committee is actively pursuing for their local hospital. Have you guys read this? A hospital with 10 inpatient rooms that was built 20 plus years ago without access to proper bathing facilities. We seek to finally rectify this with much appreciation to Town Councillor Bill Kalinowicz, who sits on the board and was instrumental in getting this project finally moving with Prairie Health all over the glass. So, that being said, is this something you guys want to support?
I
Or
can
you want to just discuss it?
talk to this on it, that I'm on the committee too. We have probably anyways, we probably have enough for the first initial thing fundraised already and all that stuff. There's been, the foundation is in for a substantial amount, and where there's a 50-50 thing going on and all that stuff. The first cost was including the shower. The whole reason we're doing this is because of communicating with the staff and all that stuff to make their life more reasonable. It's just crazy that there's not this facility in this hospital already. They were sharing the one with the care home, and when COVID was on, that was basically nobody was doing it. Probably 75 or 80% of the money is raised. It's a substantial thing. We want to do both stages at the same time, put the tub in the shower. We went back, first quote was with the shower. The nursing staff and all the people who were working in the hospital said the tub is more important. So that was about $10,000 more. We want to do the total project. The region had their general meeting. We had to send them a letter saying this position we were in and all that stuff. The guy has been very good. We were basically mentioned that if we want this to be a priority at all in the region, there's a lot of places, a lot of hospitals who stuff has to be done because of war out and all that stuff. So the committee asked the question, and to get something done like this, it probably the funds should come, the Lions Manor, from the community. And I asked the question then, and he listed 3 or 4 other places, towns and all that spent, $1 million or less are for stuff in their own hospitals. We're not the first people doing this, it's just, something like that. So the letter went out. At the thing, it was bounced around at the municipality in the town. Is a good place to go for money because everybody thinks it's cool to give it away. Just kidding. I think the $10,000 figure would be a reasonable one. If we could commit that, it would be obviously budgeted for 2023, but they need commitment for the region to proceed. So I think a letter of intent would be good. And you know what? This is a council. If anybody disagrees with it, or anybody doesn't like the figure I threw out there, now's the time to talk about this. And we don't have a fund special for this.
No.
So it would be for the 23,
Yeah, 2023.
so that we could put the paperwork right. I mean, we it's needed, it should have been there, and it's very, very hard on the staff
Oh, absolutely.
sharing the other place. So I'm gonna open that up for discussion and
Quick question, we haven't been using the COVID relief funds we received, have we? They're supposed to be in our file, once a month.
We've only used that, what was it,
The
7,500
for the
for
shower,
the.
for the
That's
So
special
there's
needs.
almost 10 left in there then.
No, there's more than that,
Yeah.
way more than that. I'm just thinking, if this was due to a COVID issue,
definitely brought it to the.
they brought it to the forefront,
Yeah,
that
you
would,
can tag that.
And
as
if
well.
you use a huge chunk of the RM for equality's sake, so like there's.
Well, if it's just bookkeeping, it's money's money, so.
no, but it was something that was given to us for COVID relief.
Yeah.
This
We
was
could just
brought
state
up
that in the
because of
resolution.
COVID.
And we could just pass a resolution now. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, do you have any?
No, I think you gotta keep things going, so.
Makes sense.
As
If
long-
it's 10, yeah, go for
But
it.
we're a joint municipality now, like, we're gonna be, whatever we put in funds for down here, we're gonna do something similar to the new hospital when the time comes,
Yeah.
and things are required. We have to support these
You
funds.
guys looked ahead or in front of it. Anyways, that's good. So I'd like to make a resolution that municipality of North Cypress contribute $10,000 toward the shower tub room in the Carberry, I don't know what it is, hospital, is that what they call it now, I guess?
They call it on the.
Actually, you know what, it should be worded, contribute to the Carberry Health
Action committee.
Action Committee, because they have an account set up for it.
Okay.
For
For
the
improvements to these projects.
I think they called it Carberry North.
yeah, Carberry North Cypress Health Committee.
For the, what do they call it? Bath and shower room.
You might as well put our whole name in there instead of just North
Oh,
Cypress.
no, they just tagged it like that. I think it's just been like that for,
Actually, on the letter I got from it, so.
no, it didn't.
Okay, I didn't read that out. Keep bringing it up, keep bringing it up.
I gotta ask you. Shower tub room in the
That
Carberry
we had a
Hospital.
freaking 3-hour meeting on this
Whether
thing.
be it resolved that funds be used from
COVID relief.
COVID relief.
There. That'll work.
Okay, that's a good, I think that it,
I love it.
personally, I think it's a good thing to do. These guys are doing a hell of a lot of work. And they're moving a mountain of bureaucracy. We've actually had the guy out sitting there and told us that if you really wanna get it done, this is what you gotta
Pay
do.
for it.
Okay, I moved it, who seconds it?
They'd love to.
Okay, understand.
Oh, is it Dallas? Sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All in favor? Okay.
Yep.
Not that I think I would forward that resolution on to
I will, yeah.
Grady. And just so, because he'll think the town's gonna deal with it right away too. Okay, perfect. Holy, let's go. Spruce Plains.
Yeah, their stats were in the correspondence that I submitted. Seats.
On Spruce Plains, it was a casual come and go at the Legion. I went to Mr. Muirhouse and his wife was there and all his kids. It was good, lots of giggling and all that stuff. It was very informal. I think they had, the detachment had a formal one and all that stuff prior to all this. It was, we're all lucky to have him. He was here for 7 or 8 years, 4 or 5 in Nipah, so.
Mhm.
Now he's a dog catcher in Nipah, you don't
Yeah,
have to
nice.
cut that out.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's a position that we can maybe tap into down the road in the future with him if we need one, what he's doing, if we're interested.
Yep.
He's got too many friends around here. Anyways, just kidding.
Okay, so we had, correspondence from the Seton Center as well, I think you guys seen that, and then we also had just notification from municipal relations in regards to amendments to the aggregate mining and transportation fees. under the municipal act, which enables municipalities to pass bylaws to collect fees from aggregate operators to offset municipal costs associated with aggregate mining. We pay Cornwallis, what is it, 35 grand, I think,
And it's gonna almost double here.
so just to make note,
Did anybody have any input on this?
nope,
Were we ever asked?
nope.
I remember it being brought up at conventions
Yeah.
and more northern folk were reading, begging for this.
I don't have my head totally around this, but it's something we should be sending a letter back to almost 80% increases. We need to discuss that because it's gonna be another 40 grand on the budget here, guys.
But
Yeah,
this-
say maximum.
This all goes into reclamation of pits in the future, does it not?
Nope, this is a tax that you give to the municipality.
So we pay, like, so this is
Okay.
mining, so we can, like, if we wanted to, we could charge individuals for hauling gravel
On our
on our
roads.
roads, but
Okay.
we don't do that, but Cornwallis, we get charged by Cornwallis to do that.
And this is per yard that we haul out of the
Yeah.
municipality.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a big bump, and if,
it's gonna be is January 1st, so it's gonna be a budget thing we have to consider too, but I know that there has been a couple discussions through, I think it was AMM and, somebody else brought it up a little while ago, and they're just doing it due to inflation, but it's a lot, so, cause from, what is it here? March, so yeah, time period in each year, March to November is, this is what they charge per ton, and then January through December. So depending on when you haul it, you're gonna be in that kind
Make sure
of,
Matt's aware of this.
yeah, he is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
so can we really cut it around in half if we,
If we just do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's something to
no-brainer.
consider.
Yeah.
yeah, cause we normally haul,
10,000 yards out in this end.
And if we could say November's gonna push to December?
And I don't think Rose, or where is the parapet, because I don't think they have this charge.
no, we've never paid Minto-Dana for that.
So there is no charge there, this is just,
It's only Cornwallis that charges for that. I don't think Minto has a bylaw for
But
it.
this is a provincial government's making this, not the municipalities and.
So
they
it,
probably do that.
the fees are provincial fees that are done, and then if the municipality chooses to regulate that, it's a bylaw that they have to enforce, so Cornwallis has an aggregate hauling bylaw that they charge, and this is
Okay,
what
yeah.
they have.
So they'll have to update their bylaw
Yeah.
to this if they choose to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're choosing to.
I would
I
think so.
would imagine,
Annual
but
fee,
just
so
asking.
January 1st, yeah, regulation requires the Department of Municipal Relations to public updated annual fees on its website as of January 1st. So, yeah, that'll be a,
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's $1 a yard.
yeah, basically.
It's gonna go almost to $1.70 a yard. Our own gravel out of our own pit.
Well, it's only 10 cents per cubic yard there.
Okay, yeah, that's why I asked you the math.
Per cubic
But
meter.
she said we paid 37,000.
We pay about, yeah, 30, I think it was 37,000 last year.
And we only hauled 35 out.
Well, that there says 10 cents, not $1.
You guys do the math.
I'm just gonna look at the check we wrote to Cornwallis. Okay. Let's see.
Unless,
But we won't be paying it out of our own pit.
We
Yeah,
pay,
oh,
as
yeah.
soon as we haul it out of
On
our
their
pit
road.
on their roads, we have to pay them that.
Okay, I see it. Okay, I get your wording now.
So, oh, okay, so 21,000, sorry, my fault. I'm thinking of,
Okay.
so realistically, it's 50 cents a yard right now, because we do 35 and
yeah,
miscellaneous.
and what have we paid in the past? We paid a bit more, we hauled more out. That was because of the flood, I'm thinking. Yeah. So, around 20, well, not quite 24,000 maybe.
So we got no way to stop it anyways, just make sure it's on the budget discussions
Yeah.
for 23, 24. We do that later.
Okay, and then this Breaking Barriers Together Association, did you guys read?
I think Dallas should go on that committee.
So I don't know if this is something that you guys wanna support.
It's just information, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just information, so I can leave it if you want, and I think it's maybe best to just.
Okay, we're gonna go quickly or slowly around the table. Malcolm, do you wanna start or Dallas? I don't care.
Go ahead, buddy.
I've got nothing new. Our progressing, guys, thank the farmer, thanks the Public Works for getting projects done.
Nothing really other than thanks to the girls in the office putting that thing on Facebook to everybody to be careful out there. It's a good idea.
I just had a quick question. Should probably start thinking of a Christmas staff party, because usually in my little house. This, on election year, we usually book the hall, because they're incoming and outgoing. I don't know if we can even do that anymore, because the hall is like slammed, so we should maybe think of when we wanna do this and get on it, because I don't know if we can even have a weekend, it might have to be a weekend party, because,
There's a lot of other halls, there's Wellwood,
yeah, true
Brookdale,
that, yeah,
any municipality. Could always look at one of the others.
Yeah.
true that,
Go to Brookdale, or like you say, Wellwood,
yeah.
whatever.
So would you, run that committee then?
I usually do.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, a lot new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Book the hall
Um,
anyway, somewhere.
yeah, okay,
Well, if it's a
I'll do
joint
an email thing going around.
Christmas party,
Yeah,
would you like us to?
I'll
if
include them.
It's a joint.
And then just congrats to Arts Council from Harps and Hobbies in town here. It was kind of back to like formal glory with 40 vendors, and there was a lot of excitement having something going on in town. So congrats to Mel Abbott on getting that going. And Splash Park Committee fundraiser event on the weekend was well organized and went over great. There was a Buzz Buzz steak night, so congrats to that crew who's got some serious momentum going on. That's it.
I just got, just a reminder that we set up committees for signage at the joint buildings. I don't know if that's still going on and all that stuff. And if we're going to continue to,
Harold was on that.
Yeah.
if we're gonna continue to try to make our website more thing, I think anybody who's on the rec committee should approach the rec committee. Like, I'm just thinking of, well, right now, they could be advertising their electrical spots, and they do have scheduled fireworks and all that stuff, just so that,
They all know that, though, they usually reach
well,
out to
but they're not doing it.
Well, but
But,
how do you?
We can't help them.
no, hold on, just the stuff that they know is gonna happen, just so that,
Yeah.
on a new website, it could be Langford, well, with Carberry, Edens, and they could just push what's happening, you know, and then I mean, there's facilities out there that don't get any advertising,
Right.
like the Brookdale guys would benefit mostly because of their hall rentals and all that stuff. And people do use that website to get information. I'm not on the website committee, but if we are gonna review it and make it better, we should include all the rec districts on that stuff.
I think we're gonna look at that this winter was the plan, when we had more time, and the bills weren't so busy with tax time and stuff.
And, obviously,
Well,
shouldn't go notice the passing of the Queen, believe it or not, that's all my life and all that stuff. She did, see, we're acknowledging that,
Yes, it is.
okay?
okay. So for mine, I was part of a meeting with Prairie Mountain Health and the Health Action Committee that, and then the foundation, just in regards to the doctor's apartment that we share with foundation in the town. So there's been a bit of a confusion with who takes priority with that apartment. It's usually the doctors that are on call, but recently they've been having some issues with EMS being in there, and there's been a key cut, so there's individuals just in there and it's not, they haven't booked it, and anyway, there's some issues there. So what they're doing is changing the lock now, and there'll be only one key, and it should be more streamlined. So hopefully that gets fixed. There is another, for bookings and such now for the doctor's apartment, the town of Carberry has volunteered to take those bookings. I won't comment any further, but
Actually, after you talked to me, the whole issue came up is that the region felt that they should be booking that and all that stuff, so I don't know even if
So
it's even
normally-
possible
so
that the town's
normally
gonna get to do this.
with the doctor's appointment, Prairie Mountain Health, a lady from the hospital did do the bookings. I guess now with this meeting, she will no longer be taking the bookings, so that was where the issue also came up now is who is gonna do it, because obviously, you know, as after hours thing
Yeah,
and
it's gotta be a spontaneous.
so Lorna Muirhead, obviously does the doctor department bookings, and then there's another lady through Shared Health who does EMS bookings. So they're gonna coordinate, and then I guess the town is coordinating with them, and hopefully it goes over well, I don't know.
Who owns the apartment?
We do.
So
Town-
So
town,
that
North
we should be the one
Cypress-Langford,
that are policing.
The town
And they are,
and your,
And the foundation. yeah. So we thought we'd try it and see how it went, because, and then obviously changing the locks would help, because there's been a key cut somewhere. So somebody's gonna get a surprise when they go to try and, yeah, because Chris was supposed to be doing that this week, so, or last week, I believe. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes, we'll go from there. Robin's Nest, owner came and approached me in regards to this fuel discount. Again, he's very adamant that he can guarantee a fuel discount. This will be more for a joint meeting discussion, but, we're thinking that, because we obviously have a card for our joint Parks and Rec fuel to use with Petro, but we're gonna see what they charge us and what Esso's offering us and see if we can get a better discount, but, I mean, I'm not opposed to saving some money, and neither is Grady, but we'll see what we can come up with that. And then I just said the 2021 audit hopefully will be done for us to approve before, in October, we'll hopefully see that. Dan Parker will be absent for, well, today till digging's done, basically.
Right.
And Jim Elliott is filling in at Fairview. And then we have another individual who's taking over for Langford,
Very good.
yes, so,
Carl.
Awesome.
yeah, I forget what his name is. What did Matt say? Anyway, it doesn't matter, there's somebody filling in for there, so.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
And then the last thing I have is, tax service, so they're the ones who look after our tax sale process. They've reached out to me, there's only one person in tax sale right now, so that's a good thing.
Right.
They have asked if I ask council if we would consider entering into an agreement, which would have this person have payments for the next 2 weeks here to get them at a tax sale, which would save them the tax sale costs and us costs as
Yeah.
well. I'm always hesitant on entering into agreements sometimes with these individuals, because this is a repetitive individual who does this. But I did ask the question, if, you know, if we were to enter into this agreement and they didn't pay, what would happen? They would just go back into the tax sale process and still be obligated by that tax sale.
So this gives
By
us
that.
a
Yeah,
chance to do it.
so are you guys okay if
I'd have so many questions about that. If you're okay with it, I'm okay.
yeah, like, I
with it.
feel like it's one
You're
person,
okay
it's
with
not like it's,
Yeah, no,
we've only done this once before
a
and it's
perennial
never,
thing?
pardon?
Does this happen all the time?
No, this is rare. We have done it once and it would have been about 4 years ago. But it's, I think it's gonna save us costs, then,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
it's not
Handle
gonna,
it that way then.
okay,
Okay.
okay, perfect. And again, David Blair's service, our celebration of life was really well attended and he's gonna be missed, so.
yeah.
I just got one other thing.
Yeah.
On the September 25th, we're having Down Syndrome Walk at the walking trails in Newport.
Okay,
Some family up there has
do
a
they have like
child
a
with.
poster out for that I can,
They probably will, yeah.
can you, or I can look for it? I'll
Yeah,
just-
I'll get a hold of more on
See,
it.
that would be a good thing that we could help them out by putting it on our website, things to do, or things. happening.
Usually we look,
I
I
just heard
see
about it
something.
yesterday, I got inquired about it. so-
we're, the girls and myself are pretty sure if we see a post that would be related to our municipality, we share it usually, but, yeah, so.
It's a good deal.
Hey.
We had it last year up there, it was well attended.
Okay, we're not gonna go in there, Carol, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, and if anybody wants to hang around to talk about what we were gonna talk about.
Yeah,
I
that's
forget
fine,
about
yeah.
it anyway. Be it resolved that the regular meeting of council now adjourned at 10:20.
10:40.
10:40. Need a mover?
Sure.
Seconder, all in favor?